Yes. What's this? Episode 28.
Yep.
Episode 28. We're back. It's another eventful weekend of Premier League action. We had a bit of Europe last week. Some debutants. We got some reality checks. Today you've got John.
Got Daz in the building.
And like Keith.
Welcome, boys. We're a bit light on people this week, but it's all good.
It's good to have you back hosting.
Yeah?
Your international.
Yeah, as long as the man in my head doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Feels good to be back though. I would have liked a few more of the boys to join, but I'll deal with them later.
Maybe if Arsenal won, might have had more, you know.
Ooh, what you saying, man? I'm hiding.
I'm not saying. It's that. You know,
What, they've pulled a sickie? Is that what you're saying?
Boy. So man failed the medical, yeah.
a couple of weeks ago, it was like all kits and tracksuits.
It's funny you said. I was thinking when we won that game, it was all different shades of the kit and that. And then now after a draw in a game that everyone was saying we were gonna batter Spurs, we can't even get a decent contingent of Arsenal fans out. You know what I mean? And we're in black, mate. Do you know what I mean?
What's that? Fair weather fans.
Yeah.
Coincidental, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coincidental.
It would have been, you and Mark today would have been lovely, actually.
Yeah, I would have loved Mark and T to be here today, actually.
It would have been lovely. I mean, let's get to it. I mean, North London derby, I think for the first time in a while, it was anticipated for maybe the right reasons. So, you know, Spurs have started the season in good form. I can't deny it. You know, if you're a lover of ball, but rather you're not, you have to say they play some nice football. The Harry Kane hangover, as we talked about, it doesn't seem to exist. Obviously, we've carried on in similar vein to last season from a points by points basis. We're in a slightly in a similar place. Maybe not as cohesive as we saw last year, but we're still expected to win most games, and we've still not lost this season. So the anticipation was there. You know, is Tottenham's good start? Is it a bit of a fluke? Now they've come up against a real team, etc. And it kind of came out pretty even. I don't know. What do you think, Daz?
Watching the game, of course, I was there, as I'm always there for North London derby. And to be fair, I think it confirmed all my thoughts beforehand.
Yeah.
Tottenham came, played their game, full props to them.
Yeah.
Arsenal, same sort of level that they've been playing this season. Not looking cohesive, as you said, and a lot of work to do.
I mean, there's almost this is about standards, isn't it? Right? So we're judging the team on the standard they set last season, rightly so. I think you're only as good as your last game, only as good as your last season. And I guess you could say it's a positive from a Spurs point of view, because these are games that in recent years they've lost, right? Or they've not been able to win. But the manner of the draw, I don't know if I feel like when it's a mistake, an individual mistake, or you know, in the end, if that mistake doesn't happen, actually we're probably talking about Arsenal not playing well but getting a home victory, right? And I think from my point of view overall, our bottom level now is still expecting to win games, even if all the moving parts aren't as slick as last year, which I think is a great place to be. I think it's a fantastic problem to have.
That is a positive.
And stuff. But Keith, as a neutral, what did you think of the game?
Supposed neutral.
No,
he's a real neutral. Isaac's the one that's not neutral.
I'm a neutral. So as you kind of alluded to, I think this is the first time I think you could look at a North London derby and be like, right, it's fairly even. Like over recent years, I think Arsenal have always, especially the Emirates, Arsenal have always had the advantage. I thought it was a good game. I think the first 20 minutes, Arsenal had the better of the game. I think Tottenham took a while to settle in. I think the changes at half time disrupted your flow.
Yeah,
totally. I'm not sure whether Vieira was injured. I didn't get that subject. Considering you knew you had to take off Rice, I
take him off as well.
Yeah,
I think he was injured. I think he did go down in the first half, and he wasn't moving right after that.
Yeah, so if he was injured, fair enough. It sounds weird, but taking those two off and then bringing on your marquee signing, so to speak, of the summer,
it
seems like your quality dropped.
Yeah. Because he's
100%.
not operating yet
100%,
at
yeah.
marquee signing level.
Yeah.
100%.
And Jorginho's a bit of a weird one. Like back in the last season, he wasn't amazing, but he was just doing
Do his job properly.
doing the normal things. And he was giving you your 6.5, your 7 out of 10 that you
Yeah.
need to tick over. And it was clear that he hadn't played much this season.
Yeah.
Like he came on and he was just slow off the mark.
That's a really hard game to come in. If you haven't played this season, that's a really hard and to come, not even to start, to come on at half time as well, when everybody's in the game,
And you're not exactly
everyone
the
knows
most-
the pace of the game.
Yeah.
As you were going to say, he's not really the most athletic in the first place.
You're not the most mobile player, even in your good days. And I'm a fan of Jorginho. I'm a fan of what his role is, and he seems to be someone that's accepted that. But you're right, and to link both your points, I've heard some chat after about saying, well, because of it's us and the way we've played, etc. Arsenal, no one wants to talk about the injuries because other teams would be saying, well, hold on, my first and second choice on the wing, both injured, so I've had to put someone else out there. There are, the number 2 to Rice is injured, so then you're going from Rice. Well, I said the number 2. The other option for that role from Rice is injured, so you go from Rice down to Jorginho. But again, I'm thinking, you've had enough time. You've spent a certain amount of money. Yes, it's not ideal for you 1 and 2 in a very important position. Martinelli and Trossard, whichever one of them is playing on that side of the pitch, are very important to how things flow and go forward. But I just think that it's unfortunate that we start with those injuries and then you pick up more. Rice then goes, then Vieira goes. So I actually look at that draw in a sense that when the team's had that much disruption, we lose that game in time gone by. That much disruption and changing that kind of personnel, not starting with them and then swapping them out at half time.
Yeah.
Not 60 minutes, not 70 minutes, half time. We lose that game. But then again, we're going to be talking about Jesus' chance that if we have a certain level of striker, he gets you out of jail.
Yeah.
If we have someone with a certain level of clinical finishing, he gets you out of jail. We're having probably a very different conversation today, despite all of that. And I don't want to put all of it on him, but that's the game, right? With those moments, it just changes the convo.
So just talking about how Jesus plays and what everyone's talking about, what Kai Havertz does off the ball.
Yeah.
Do you think Arteta's tried to build a team that's busy and will create chances and just someone, not specifically a striker, will put the ball in the net?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what he's tried to adopt.
You go first. I've got a view on that, but you go first.
I think he wants sort of like a committee of goal scorers.
Yes.
So it's spread around the team, as it was last season.
Yeah.
Double figures Odegaard, double figures Saka, double figures Martinelli. Jesus obviously had a big injury, but he probably would have got double figures. So I think that's what he wants, that it's going to be all different goal scorers. Kind of like how Man City used to be before Haaland came along.
Yeah.
So that's what I think
And
he
that's
wants.
what I was going to say. If I take a deductive view of it, you say, well, where did he cut his teeth? Where did he learn his trade? He helped build a team where no matter who played, the thing was about, we were playing in a way that people will get in certain positions and people get certain chances. And then there's enough average quality that whoever the chances fall to will score.
They'll be able to put it in the back.
Yes, whether it falls to Mahrez, whether it falls to Sterling, whether it falls to Foden. Remember that season they played without a striker, basically. Whether it falls to Bernardo Silva, it was more about, we will have a pattern of play that more often than not gets us in the positions that we want to, gives us optimal chances. And then whoever's there, KDB, whoever you are, you can finish. And it seems like that is where he's trying to go. So within our budget, within our constraints, whenever they talk about Arteta's signings, it's about versatility and people who can do more than one role and etc. And kind of with our budget ceiling, I can get the best players in that play at the highest quality that can then do all of that. Trossard is a perfect example of that. When he plays, he doesn't do what Martinelli does and stay out there. He drifts in, he picks up. Look at where he scored the goal from against Everton. He's on the right side of the box. So I think that's where he's going. I think Havertz hasn't progressed that plan, for honest, right? He's not progressed that plan. And he could be Arteta's Pepe.
Yeah.
Havertz could be Arteta's Pepe. Right? And that's mad because as it stands now, Pepe was more productive than him.
He can undo a lot of Arteta's good work. Just that one signing. Because going forward...
Well, he can if Arteta keeps playing him.
And I think he's good. Well, he took him out, but he brings him straight back in. So I think going forward, I'm worried. I said it on the pod was it last week or the week before. Arsenal will not be in a title race this season. They're not playing well enough. And I was trying to tell the other two guys who are conveniently not here today that not playing well and picking up points is not sustainable. You can get away with it for a few games here and there, but it's going to catch up with you.
Is that one of those old football cliches that you know when they say, the mark of champions is when they don't play well, but they still pick up points?
Yeah, they say that, but
that was before Man City was.
You can't do. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's the benchmark. That's the benchmark. Man City is the benchmark. And after the season we had last season, we spent 200 million. We're coming into the season to try and win the league. That's the only reason why you spend 200 million. You need to 200 million come second again.
Yeah,
and Man City is the benchmark. And we are not playing well enough. In 6 games, I've seen 6 games of the same level of performance. Just getting over the line a few times, very lucky a couple of times, and dropped points a couple of times. So in that vein, I can't think of 6 games last season where I didn't see at least 2 or 3 top performances within that 6-game bracket.
6-game run.
Even at the end of the season when we was terrible, we still had that one game, I think it was Newcastle away, was a great performance. Even though we wasn't even that good in that 6-game bracket. But these 6 games have all been on the same par level of performance. And even yesterday, Tottenham, I thought Tottenham was a better team.
Well,
I think the draw was the fair result, but if you had to pick a winner, for me, Tottenham were the better team.
Well, it's interesting you say that because the stats back you up.
Oh, wow. Oh, surprise.
well, the stats back up this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, again, we were at home. We're at Emirates, right? And I'm not a big fan of possession stats being used that way. But listen, on most stats, they had more of the possession.
Yeah.
First half, I think I read a stat earlier there, they had 60% possession for first half. But overall, average out 53%, we have 46%. So not massive, but they kept up with us possession-wise, which doesn't happen.
But I've never seen that.
Emirates.
I've never seen
Apart
that
from
at
City.
Emirates. I've never seen that
Apart
at
from
Emirates.
City.
I've never seen a Tottenham team come to Emirates and have more possession.
More touches of the ball, same amount of shots, more passes, more tackles, more clearances, which probably talks to your point of pressure. So you kind of look at some of these underlying numbers. I hate that term. And you kind of say, well, look, Tottenham came and they were doing toe-to-toe. Now, again, I think the gap in maturity would have been, as you say, and that you argue, actually, it shows there isn't a gap in maturity because Jorginho makes that kind of mistake. But overall, I think Arteta's 3 years in. Masogolu's 4 months in. So if we got away with a win despite playing like that, you could probably chalk that down to, a bit more time in the kitchen cooking. But I agree with you. I think they came, they played well, they set their stall out. And there's a school of thought, again, I was hearing people talk about earlier, saying it's probably good that a lot of Tottenham's players hadn't played in North London derby before. They could be like, I'm looking forward to this, rather than being scared or being scarred
I was going to say,
previous times.
I was in the camp of Kane leaves and Tottenham kind of fall off. And when I said that, I had the vision of the core Tottenham team that were there last season, still playing, just kind of swap Kane out, etc. But if you actually look at their team compared to last season, there's not many players playing now.
Højlund, all them man
played.
Sanchez gone, Højlund's gone.
All them guys.
They've got a new
Dyer
goalkeeper.
at the back and all that, all them gone.
New goalkeeper. I think only Romero from the back 4 was a regular.
Yeah.
Sarr and Basuma and Maddison.
Whole new midfield.
Pretty much whole new midfield.
Yeah, Basuma wasn't getting a look in. I wasn't able to play the way
Johnson started his first game yesterday, North London derby.
Kulusevski
and Kulusevski. Yeah,
fine, that's it. But you're right.
That's it.
And I think
Richie's on the bench.
What's that? Is that 3 players? Is that 3
3 or
players
4
of the
players.
11?
So I think that's kind of helped with Ange and the way he wants to play. Because essentially it's like, well, a manager comes in, he's like, well, it's not my team.
Yeah.
He's kind of made it his team with the players that he brought in. And some of those players were there under the old regime.
It's a little bit of an indictment.
Just weren't getting a look in. But yeah, like I say, Tottenham played really well. I think we've had a lot of debate between Maddison and Odegaard.
No, we'll come on to that.
I know what you're saying, but I think Maddison is kind of showing his worth in that Tottenham team more and more. each week.
Yeah.
You can see you've got a little bond with Son, like they've done a little joint celebration
Yeah.
together, which is what you want. You're kind of two stalwarts kind of bonding together really, really quickly. Sarr and Basuma, like they just, I wouldn't say they got outplayed in the first half, but like I say, the first 20 minutes, I think Arsenal got in their footing a little bit more, but they settled. And even the left back who was up against Saka,
Udogie.
Destiny.
Started shaky, got booked early on,
and then he
done well after that.
After that, done really well. So yeah, and Tottenham.
The biggest surprise for me was their football was more dominant than our football.
Yeah.
They would have the ball for quite a long time, try and probe whatever, but when we would win it back, and then we would just go try storming forward. We didn't play off it. We just go storming forward.
We're at home. We need to do this. It's Tottenham.
It's more like we were playing the occasion and they were playing the match.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. And that's why I'm worried about this team. I'm really worried going forward because I think now we have to readjust what we want to achieve this season. I don't see us coming for a title. I see us now looking for a top 4.
Yeah.
Because the team is not. I think I should put it out there. I think we're worse than we've gone backwards from last season.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I think the starting point is different, right? So when we look at the season we had before last year, it was let's get in top 4. Like we shouldn't have come 5th again. He spent more money. Let's get top 4. Now after last season, it's almost like you need to start there as a minimum and push on. And also some of the stuff we saw last season in terms of just from an eye test, but just looking at the game, if you're an honest Arsenal fan, you weren't expecting that yet. Like you thought that may come later, etc.
Yeah.
But how often we did it and who we did it against, you weren't expecting that yet. So now, because a lot of the underlying stats say we're doing better than last season, right? At the same stage, but on the eye, it doesn't look it. And I think new players have maybe done that. So, Partey, as much as he can be annoying, when he's on it, and he looks and plays a certain way. Rice, optically is going to look different. We've had the Havertz conundrum. So I'm not ready to call that yet. What I did think before the season started, that it would be one of those seasons where we would be in the title race, but in reality, we are cementing second unless City slip up. I didn't see it being a thing again where we lead for so long. I genuinely thought it was going to be one of those, what was the year Man United finished second, but the gap was huge.
They won it by about 15 points.
I think it's going to be one of those, or someone else is going to push Man City.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to come second. I think Liverpool look like they will come above Arsenal this season.
I think
we still got a bit of work to do.
Yeah, I think as things stand, 10, 15 games and I'll make a definitive judgment, but I think it's too early. We still haven't lost.
The thing is, that everyone's saying it's too early, but it's Man City. It's not too. You can lose the league by October against Man City.
No, I'm not saying it's too early for me to say we're not going to win. I think I said a couple of podcasts ago. So we just give it to them now, kind of vibe.
Yeah,
but in terms of how far we push them, or is it going to be a Man United second like that year? I actually think what it is now is, can you come second again, and can you cement that when other teams have got better?
Yeah. When
the people who dropped away last season, they're not dropping away. When Liverpool turn up again, when Newcastle can do it again, I was going to say Chelsea, but
but I get what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's realistic. What it is actually, if we get second again this season, which is not something you aim for, don't get me wrong, but getting second again this season with everyone else kind of sorting out their house, that for me is okay.
So you're taking Man City out of the equation and sort of thing. But that's the thing, I'm looking at Man City, and I suppose that's where we differ a little bit, because even if we come second, but we're 15, 20 points behind Man City, for me, that's not good. That's that's worse than last season. You can still come second, but if you're way behind City, then what's the point?
I agree. But I've already seen enough of City to say,
but
it's tricky.
I know City are 6 out of 6, but again,
it's the way though.
They're not playing particularly great. And just to put it into context, they could go to the Emirates in 2 weeks' time, get a point. Liverpool, let's say Liverpool or Tottenham win next week. you get a point. You draw with City. Then Liverpool, Tottenham win.
Yeah.
They're level, like Tottenham or Liverpool are level with Man City after 8 games.
Yeah.
So I know we're saying like it can shift pretty quickly this early.
No,
So
with it. That's why I'm like 10 for me.
like, yeah,
And I
like,
know what you're saying. When you watch the team, and that's why for me, I'm saying it that way for Man City. Because they're not even playing great yet. So imagine when they start, KDB's not even about.
Yeah.
KDB's not even about. But that's why for me, 10, 12-ish games, you start to see some normality. And last season was an anomaly. As much as I love my team, etc., the way we challenged them was an anomaly. Like to be top for so long, it's not even like we wait for them to slip up. We were the ones that everyone was waiting for us to slip up. So, and 10, 12 games in, I'll be like, okay, let me see.
One thing I'll say about City, they're not firing all cylinders, but they haven't looked like dropping points in any of the games that I've seen.
Sheffield United, they were close to.
I watched that game now, man. I always knew.
Yeah, but
they were peppering them.
I know, but it's a thing of like, if you're playing against better quality opposition, those opposition might potentially take those chances that you're giving up. And to be fair, like we always say, Man City will win 10 in a row. If they win the first 10 and then drop off, I'll take that. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. All right, look, let's get through these fixtures and then we'll come back to some of the talking points. Chelsea, man.
Oh, man.
Don't get me wrong. I have no sympathy for Chelsea as a club, but I think I've said before in this pod, I'm a football fan overall. So when certain players or certain people go to it, like now Raheem Sterling is there, I've got an affinity for him and his career, etc. Now certain players are there. It's another predominantly black team. I think I like, now he's not at Spurs. I like Poch as a manager and some of his ideas, even though I think he's a little bit overrated because he didn't win anything, but everyone acts like he did. So I was like, oh, these guys could be underdogs. If he sorts it out, and I said, not this season, but next season, but I don't even know, I'm after another season on there. This is getting a bit mad.
Is he going to get that long? Is he going to get another season, another season?
I think it goes back to what we said after the Nottingham Forest result.
Oh, Isaac would have loved this, wouldn't he? Oh.
The inexperience across the squad is just going to come back and bite them. Like when you need like those players who have been in the trenches to kind of drag you through, and you've only got Thiago Silva, Sterling, and
Chilwell.
Yeah, but he's not even really playing. He's playing Colwill left back, which I find a bit strange.
On the bench.
Was he playing? Yeah, they played him winger a couple of times. And they were playing him left wing, and everyone was cussing.
And even if you take Silva and Sterling, they've predominantly been in free-flowing, winning teams. So they've not had to be like, boys, we're down in the doldrums. Let's rise it together. So, yeah. And also, when I was driving, I was thinking, how many of these signings are actually Pochettino's? Like, I think a lot of them are club signings.
Yeah.
Well, if we listen to the rumours, obviously there was a gap between agreeing that he's going to take over when he could actually take over because of his agreement with Spurs or PSG, one of those guys. But apparently he knew, they were in conversations, these are the kind of players we're going for, this is the plan, this is where we're going. And that's one of the reasons, it's almost the other way around. Because we have this type of plan, you're the kind of manager that can come in and work with young players. We saw what you did with the constraints at Spurs, blah, blah, blah. So I think you're right. There's almost a bit of ground of, if it was typical old school, Poch came in, he might not have bought some of these players, but at the same time, when they've told him, this is the plan, this is how we're going to do it, we're buying for the future and we're almost investing in assets, he would have known and be like, okay, cool. And then these are the type of players that fit that mode, I guess. But even with that said, Daz, should he be doing this badly with these players?
Right. For him, I wouldn't say it's early. For him, I'll say it's early. He's at 6 games.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
They've got injuries. I don't like using the injuries question, but
fair.
Obviously,
he's got 15
when you've got a
stupid.
brand new team, having some of those players out is not a help. But it's Chelsea, so there's only a certain amount they're going to take. Yeah,
the expectations are there. And it'd be interesting to see how Bowley kind of manages this. Because obviously he came in and he said, oh no, we're not going to get rid of Potter. And then got rid of Potter.
Oh, he had no choice then.
Lampard was going to go regardless, like whether he done well, I think.
But they're saying that he will come back as a caretaker.
No, but on a serious note, though, if you, I think they've not backed themselves into a corner, but if you are the Chelsea owners now, what do you do? Because I don't think it's as clear cut as getting Poch out and getting someone else in, because I think someone else still has to deal with the problems Poch is dealing with.
Yeah, 100%.
And then if you get them out now, they're starting from scratch.
Yeah, I think Chelsea can afford to not be in Europe again next season.
Yeah.
I would just give him the season. Like we said, it's only 6 games.
Yeah.
Give him the season and see if you can see signs of things working out and progressing. Like they're only playing once a week.
Yeah.
That should be enough time for you to kind of get your ideas translated from your brain onto the training pitch, and for them to. And if you take Saturday's fixture, like they had a lot of chances.
Yeah,
they had a lot of chances. Like Sterling had 2, Chilwell had a good chance. I think Jackson should have squared it.
Well, you say that, but they only had 4 shots on target, mate.
Yeah, because they don't hit the target.
Why?
How many? Did they say how many shots they had in total?
10, and Villa had 15.
So they're creating chances. It's just they get, like I said, they
but
can't put the ball
10
in
men
back
as
in
well, though, innit? So they had 10 men.
minutes.
Yeah, justified red
So
card.
I'm
I think a
saying,
lot of
there's all
them
this stuff.
come afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I don't
even
know.
so, even the goal they conceded, like I don't know who sanctioned the signing
That
of
was
Sanchez.
a goalie, yeah.
Granted, you know Kepa's going to leave. You got rid of Mendy.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I know there's not an abundance of top quality goalkeepers.
Yeah, but it wasn't
out
like
there.
signing a Raya. Like, it wasn't that level of
Yeah,
signing.
like he's not a number one. Is it? Like, so, I know he played at he was number 1 for Brighton.
Yeah.
Not last season before last, even for a part of last season before Still came in. But you don't look at Sanchez and be like, right, he's the guy that's gonna take me to where I want to be. Like they'll have to replace him
You
at
think
the end of the
so?
season.
Could
or-
be an infectious thing. It won't surprise me if when the team starts to play well again, you can see this sometimes in teams where it gets a little bit infectious. Everyone's a little bit unsure. Let's be honest, Sanchez was being talked about as a decent keeper before Chelsea bought him.
He made a
Very,
couple
very
decent.
decent.
He made a couple decent saves
Yeah,
before that,
yeah.
and then obviously, it's a mistake for
Yeah, but I
make a
don't see
mistake
him
for
as
he
a-
has to stop the goal. Yeah,
He's not
Yeah.
a title winning or a Champions League goalkeeper for me. And I think that's what you've got to kind of.
I agree with that. And just go back to your point you made about the red card. Totally agree that was there was right to just the VAR to give it props out. That was, I think that's a red card tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then spotlight on Poch a little bit, because now he's making decisions, right? So yes, you've had problems that one preseason maybe doesn't sort. You've got this army. It's not even a squad. It's like a small army that gets sorted out. Loads of players leave, and you got all these players in. People are asking you about players in press conference. You don't even know who they are, and they're on the reported 100 grand a week. But then you're making decisions like not starting Chilwell. Cucurella's on the bench. You're playing one of England's most promising centre backs at left back. You know, that's when it starts being less about the circumstance and the nuance of it, and more about the decisions you as a manager are making. Is persevering with Mudryk, you know, and you just bought Cole Palmer for however much, who was on an upward trajectory. You know, you're benching him when actually Mudryk is. He seems to be doing away, but he's not cooking yet. We're in a perilous position. So are we at a point now where we can put some of that context to the side, because the decisions he's making within that situation, that's on you, bro. That's on you, Poch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
So that's when you guys ask the question of how long did they persevere with him, I think that's when that sort of stuff starts to come in and say, well, hold on. Are you actually using these players properly? You know, someone like Chilwell to be on the bench, for you to play someone out of position, he still lose. It starts to get tricky. And then how do the players start taking it?
Yeah, well, that's when you'll have a big problem.
Yeah.
Because if the players start talking to the owner, he seems like the kind of owner that will start listening to players. So,
what's
that's
it
when it
easier
gets
together?
out of
I've got
hand.
Ben Chilwell, however much as an asset as he is, a player, vice captain, whatever it is, 5-year deal at whatever money. But if I'm starting to feel like you're not keeping the squad happy, it might be easier to let Poch go. But then where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Would you-
It might sound a bit mad, but Silva's like 39 now.
And he's playing every.
This is the point. Like,
Is it one game a week? Is that cool though?
yeah, but like, if you've got all these young players and you're planning for the future,
Yeah.
why don't you just play Diassi and Colwill, Chilwell left back, see how it goes, innit? Like, because
But you need
but you might.
you need experience though. You need,
Yeah.
you need a couple
And
heads in there.
I've seen a couple games of the Sassy. Yeah, Thiago needs to be on the pitch. So, I'm not gonna lie. The Sassy
Or
is
try
not feeling-
Colwill and Silva. Like,
Yeah, that's what I expect
Yeah.
to see more.
Yeah, that's what I expect to see, yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, it does.
I agree. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Again, they've got injuries. People need to come back. I think it was good to see Rojo kind of step back on, get 10, 11 minutes. Not expecting any to be pulling up any trees soon. He's been out for 9 months with almost a year now, I think, actually.
Yeah,
the last time he played for Chelsea was before the World Cup.
Yeah, bad injury.
So ACL, which is pretty crazy. They've got this guy, David Washington. He just doesn't seem to get to touch pitch. So let's see.
Who's
Villa.
their next fixture? Have you got that on there?
So they've got two fairly. I think they've got Fulham.
Yeah, watch your mouth, yeah? Because man said fairly easy.
Yeah,
Fairly easy,
so I think they've got Fulham
Oh,
and
they've
Burnley.
got Fulham away, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and
That-
Burnley.
That's
They've
the
got Fulham
derby,
away.
so that's
Yeah.
not an easy
on
one.
Monday, next week Monday. Then they got Burnley away.
But after Burnley,
They
it's
got
a
Arsenal.
Mazza.
They
It's
got
a
Arsenal
Mazza.
coming up.
They got
Arsenal,
Arsenal.
Brentford, Spurs, City, Newcastle, Brighton, Man United.
Wow.
It's a mad run.
Wow.
Which is why you got to be picking up these points.
Yeah.
We're picking up these points. We talked a lot about Chelsea. Villa. Was it you that wasn't having them? I think you were sitting there, mate. You were sitting right next to me saying,
Look at her face.
What? I said,
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, but
it was, yeah, it was, me.
it's a good win for them.
It was me.
And
How did they get on in Europe?
wait, we're coming to that.
Yeah.
This is Prem talk, innit? This is Prem talk. And to be fair to Inaremi, to your point, he said, look, you got and he would know he's won that cup a few times. He said it's two separate things, yeah? Especially here, the Premier League. He said in other leagues, yeah, it's a bit more close, but Europe, Prem, two different things. And I think, whilst he's been very good in the Europa Cup and such, I think his primary thing is let me get Villa up as far as possible because they've had investment. I mean, DRB and
they spent
Co.
money.
Yeah.
I think that was a good, strong away win for them.
Yeah.
You know, picking up those kind of points on the road.
Yeah, definitely. Like, even though Chelsea are not playing well, getting points at Stamford Bridge will always set you in good standard. So,
And you talk about getting points at home, but if you're going to be picking up those points away, then you're doing your job. They've had 4 wins and 1 loss. I think that's a great start to season for them.
And was it the first game of the season they lost?
No, they won the first game of the season, 4-0 Everton.
Oh, well,
No,
they lost to
they lost to
Newcastle. I
Newcastle.
thought they lost to Newcastle with a 5-1. Was it like 5-1 or something?
Yeah, they've lost
so
it.
the last.
So they've won the
5
last 4.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's quite good.
So they won
Yeah.
the last 2, had a loss, the Liverpool, which is when you were at Everton, and then they won 2 games before, and then they
Lost
lost.
it,
So,
yeah.
and
think
if
what
you
they
look
might
at
have
who
to
they've
change-
been, sorry, just quickly, if you look at who they've beaten, this is the thing. They're beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. They beat Everton 4-0. They beat Burnley 3-1. I'm not expecting them to pick up points. If they pick up points against Liverpool or they beat Liverpool, that's a bonus for Villa. Then they beat Palace 3-1. And again, based on form, you're not surprised they're taking points against Chelsea. But if you looked at it before the season started, you'd be like, get a point out of that. And they've taken 3 points there. So from a plan point of view, how they've got to, you have to say they've had a really good start to the season.
I do want to wait to see how they get on against the teams around them. So the Brightons, the Tottenhams, those type of games. See if they can win
West
those
Ham,
ones.
Newcastle,
Yeah,
Man United.
those kind of exactly those type of games.
But
Sorry, keep going.
he hasn't changed his style of play. Like, home or away, he's kind of
High
stuck
line,
to
bruv.
it. And I think the Newcastle game, when they had the man sent off, they still tried to play it. I think he should have switched it up then.
Yeah.
But yeah, even against Chelsea, like, stuck with it. Chelsea had, like we say, had a few chances, but it paid off for them. Their high line worked, and Watkins got his first goal of the season. Fortunate, as we said, but
they all count.
yeah, they all count, man,
step.
and he's doing well.
All right. Liverpool. I feel like they've snuck up on us.
We have, man. So I had half an eye on the North London derby, half an eye on this, or more than half an eye.
1-5 June 1, no losses.
Yeah, doing
I'm happy about this. I'm not gonna lie.
doing well.
3-1 win, Salah again, Nunes, and then Jota. In terms of spreading the goals around, that's a
they've got firepower. Liverpool got firepower.
yeah. We said it
They're
before. It's a
always
good
going to
spread.
score goals.
I guess the key question for you, I didn't see this game, but midfield wise, how are you looking? Because I thought that's actually where West Ham might give you some trouble.
Yeah, so we looked really good. Again, McAllister was playing in the 6.
Yep.
I still don't like it, even though he had a much better game than our previous game.
Great assist as well.
Yeah, it was a really good assist. We looked a little bit more controlled, but we're still missing that dedicated.
Yeah, Fabinho. He's still missing the Fabinho.
Yeah, like if we had signed Casado, we'd be flying. Like if we had a dedicated DM, considering what Szoboszlai does and what McAllister can do further up the pitch, I think would be really good. But saying that, Curtis Jones has had a really good start to the season. I think he's kind of gone under the radar a little bit. My kind of negatives for Sunday is that we're still giving up easy chances.
Okay, they had some really good chances, didn't they?
Before we scored, West Ham could have been 2-0 up. So Alisson pulled off a really good save. And then even after all his big talk in the week leading up to the game, Antonio, I think Souček whipped in a ball to him, had a free header.
What was he doing?
6 yards out.
I don't know what he was doing.
And headed the ball wide, didn't even hit the target.
It was like he headed it towards the corner flag or something. Like literally, you can't miss that.
That's him in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Like that goal against Chelsea, he's put that finish in the only place he could.
Yeah.
This week, he has a header. How many yards?
It was harder to miss.
Yeah. It was.
Than score. And then even when it was 1-1, Bowen had a chance from a corner, headed it straight at Alisson. And we kind of got a grip of the game. Nunes missed a really big chance, should have scored. But I think he'll give you one of those a game. That's just him.
Yeah.
And then misses the easy chance and then scores an over-the-shoulder volley.
That's Nunes all over.
Yeah.
One right in front of the goal, he just whacks it wide and then scores a hard chance that you wouldn't expect.
This is the forward line I thought, before the season started, I thought this is going to be it. Diaz, Nunes, Salah. Remember me asking you and Isaac saying, where's Nunes? I thought this was going to be it. I don't know whether he was injured or whatever, but I think this is it now.
With Gakpo on the bench and Jota on the bench.
I think so.
Yeah. It could be. I still want to see a little bit more from Diaz. Like, he's excited when he gets on the ball. Sometimes he's a little bit too erratic.
Yeah.
Overplays it a little bit, but he'll still give you kind of those moments where he can deliver something.
Is he still coming back from the injury, or is that fully out, or do you reckon that's gone now?
Well, he's fully fit. He started the majority of the games. But yeah, like, I just want to see a little, because I know what he can offer in it. And like, when you know what someone can do and they're not kind of doing it consistently, you just be like, well, I think it will come, hopefully.
So that's interesting because in another group I'm in, there's a lifelong Liverpool fan who's not Jota's biggest fan. He thinks that actually it's a little bit overrated. He doesn't really, take the man on. And then it's got another friend in there who's saying he actually thinks Diaz's end product isn't as consistent, actually. So we'll get to the end of the season and we've all got this idea of him because he's had some exciting moments. When we get to the end of the season, he wouldn't have contributed 10, 15 goals like a Martinelli or maybe
I think he'll need to.
Whatever. So which is interesting because I actually thought, well, I rate him, but it's like, why do you rate him though? Is it because of those some of those moments? So it's interesting when you say that you need to see a little bit more of Diaz. I feel like his injury disrupted a lot. So actually we just need a full. He just plays every week.
Yeah, like still early. Like, it might come. Like he might prove me wrong. Just on West Ham,
I was gonna say
I can see why they're where they are. Like what 10 points they got? I think 3.
Yeah. So they've won 3
and drawn 1.
Lost 2 and drawn 1.
I think they've only lost to us and
City.
Man City.
City.
All I'm gonna say is, be thankful Paqueta never went to Manchester City. Because even though we beat them, he was just bossing things.
Really? Like, he's been on stuff for the last few games.
Like, he is such a good player. Like, whoever scouted him, I don't know whether he was on everyone's radar before he went to West Ham.
A few people talked about him.
Leon, isn't it?
Leon. A few people talked about him. There was as always with some of these players, people inventing rumours because it felt like, but then West Ham eventually pulled the trigger. They paid
good money for him.
50 million.
Yeah.
I saw a rumour online today saying that West Ham invented the betting allegations.
Well,
because apparently they've disappeared now, innit?
No. So there's a West Ham journalist who says that they scheduled the hearing or they did an appeal or something that basically would push the hearing back to after the transfer window closed. So it's like, oh, you could appeal or you can do this or when are you guys available? Somehow they've scheduled it and it was 2 or 3 days after the transfer window closed. And he reckons that was a very deliberate move.
Yeah.
So I think it's like the Ivan Toney thing. They've learned the lesson, right? I think they kept it quiet. They're doing their investigations or whatever it is. And then we'll see. Apparently it's similar to the Granit Xhaka thing where 2 + 2 = 4, but you couldn't prove it.
Okay.
It was a bit like, this looks dodgy, but we can't prove the link. Apparently it's one of those.
I think West Ham are a solid number 9 away from consistently being.
They've needed that for going
8,
5 years now.
But the problem
I
is,
don't even know who their last decent number 9 was.
The fact that Antonio's still been their number 9 for the last 4 years or something.
Who is there to buy? They tried the Skamaka, didn't work.
They tried Haller and then got rid of him, and then he went and scored millions of goals when they got rid of him.
Yeah, because he went to Ajax after.
Yeah,
and then scored loads.
And then went at Dortmund.
Yeah.
They tried him.
You know, if you're West Ham and you're at stretch, you're 50 to 70 million purchaser, and that's if someone that's just you really hitting the bank. What does that buy you in the striker market these days? It doesn't buy you. What does it buy you?
Yeah.
You know,
and it's weird that West Ham haven't really had any academy players come through.
Yeah,
because like back in the day, West Ham had like the black kid.
Yeah, what's his name?
Yeah, I think
he's on my bench. He's on the bench for my fantasy team.
Yeah, I think he was on the bench in the Europa League final as well.
Yeah.
I know the guy you're talking about.
Well, they got Danny Ings. Yeah, Kudus was on the bench. Yeah, like they spend the money. I mean, Danny Ings. I know he's on the older side of things, but he's a finisher. I don't know whether him and Moyes don't get on or doesn't feel like the work rate, but I've seen certain chances that Antonio's getting. I'm like, Danny Ings buries that.
I don't know whether he's got the physical.
And that's what Moyes likes in that.
Yeah, that's the attributes that
the trade-off. I see certain chances. I'm like, we've seen Danny Ings deal with those chances there. He's clinical. And then again, I don't know what's going on with Kudus, but he's coming on 74th minute. This is someone that's meant to be explosive and have that drive and give a bit of that. So I don't know. But you're feeling like they're going to be okay. They're definitely not going to be having.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be in that kind of relegation mix. They were kind of last season. Like we mentioned them before, like they spent the money fairly wisely from Rice, and I think they'll be okay. Hopefully Liverpool just carry on. Tottenham game will be interesting next week. If we get a point, I'll be happy with a point at Tottenham.
What, are you away?
Yeah,
I think you should be going there to win.
I think you finished them because again, the kind of chances they gave us, and you give them to Salah. Yeah,
but we're giving up chances.
The way I see Liverpool this season is we'll score more than you team. Yeah. I think Liverpool.
It's a 4-3, 3-2.
I see Liverpool scoring 2s and 3s every game, but giving up 2 or 3 other chances. And it just depends whether they're playing takes those chances.
Because almost they either win or score draw. Yeah. So Brighton, march on 3-1 win over Bournemouth. I talked some rubbish about Solanke last time I was here. He's got a new contract and he scored. So positive curse there. Don't worry.
Did you see the goal?
No, I didn't. Was he good?
So it's interesting on the goalkeeper thing. They've played 6 games and still started 3 games. And
the new guy
started 3 games. And the guy, it begins with a V, I can't remember his name. He miskicked the ball, so he's trying to pass out from the back. He kicked it basically straight to Solanke.
Yeah. No, it got blocked. It was Christie blocked it. He blocked the pass and went straight to Solanke.
Solanke scored from like distance. So it weren't like Bournemouth cutting them open or anything.
But it was interesting what De Zerbi said. He said it was the worst performance. Yeah. And the thing is, the first half, Bournemouth were the better team. And then he's made some changes at half time and then Brighton have then taken over the second
and then
half.
the own goal kind of draws it up, and then Matoma.
Matoma's goal.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
And he came on at half time. Fantasy points, all good.
All right, calm down.
But Brighton are ticking over. And like I heard a stat on the radio earlier, they're the first team outside the conventional Big Six to win 5 of their first 6 games since 2006.
Oh, wow.
So,
really?
Yeah. So, they're mixing it with the...
Have they played any on the Big Six yet, though? Oh, they beat Man United at Old Trafford, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, they did.
They did.
And again, look at the team. I mean, after that match, to your point, Eric Ten Hag said something about money, and they were like, "Hold on, that team cost 20 million, like in total. What are you talking about?" So again, massive credit to them. What De Zerbi is doing. Surely the next big job. He's the in fashion name for it.
Yeah.
The next big job.
Not even just in England. Like, I think anywhere.
Yeah. No.
What do you guys think about them juggling the Europe and the Premier League? Do you think that's going to be an issue?
I don't think they're prioritising it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, of course, you go to the games to win it, but let's get higher in the Premier League. I
think so, especially for a European coach as well, that he's not going to be going for that. Especially, and they're in a hard group as well.
No, I think he'll be trying, but it would have surprised me if, and I think I said this about Spurs as well. Now, it's about getting further and further, just cementing that piece, because then that allows them to keep doing what their recruitment thing is. I don't think they can do this forever. I think if they eventually want to be a Champions League team or a regular top 7-8 team, you can't just keep plucking the gems. They're going to have to maybe do one step up at some point. And staying in and around there helps them do that. Probably a little bit cheaper, etc. I don't think they're going to we're not going to see Brighton doing any 80 or 90 million pound signings. That's not going to happen. But then it just allows them to do that. And then next season, they can do better in Europe, or every year try and cope with that, being that team better rather than going for bust. I think, in my mind anyway. It just seemed like a club that is willing to do things slowly over years rather than, we're here now, so let's
force it.
Yeah, exactly. Which it seemed a little bit like what West Ham were doing. Like, we're gonna win this thing, but then the league form suffered so much. So that's what I think. I don't know. What do you guys think about how Brighton are looking to approach it or should approach it?
I think they can balance the two. Like, I know we're going to touch on Europe, but I think they were just a bit unfortunate on Thursday. Like, generally, a team just when I was just trying to think of what I'm going to say. When the team you're playing, they'll get chances, not necessarily take all of them. They played Athens, didn't they?
They played AEK,
AEK took their chances, which is not going to happen every time you play in Europe. So I think they'll be fine. I think they'll get out of the group. I still think they'll do well in the league. Like I say, they've won 5 out of 6. It'll be interesting when they play someone. I don't want to kind of slight Man United, but you know.
No, please do.
So we've got them in 2 games' time. We got them away after Tottenham. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they play against us. I think they'll be fine.
I think they should give it a go.
Yeah.
It's your first time in Europe. You might not get back there for however long. Give it a go.
Well, I guess the other thing is as well, for De Zerbi, he's built more of a system, and the players, whoever's playing, should execute that. So he's probably thinking, I'm going to rotate, and that should get me to a certain point in that competition. Because you look at the bench, Tariq Lamptey came on a bit later, Solly March is not even making it in the team. You've got Matoma came on. Pedro. So Pedro was on the bench.
So he's using his squad.
He's kind of split the squad in 2.
He's using his squad,
he's using the whole. He said, but he did say that maybe he made too many changes. So, but I say go for it, especially as you started the league so well.
Yeah.
Even if it cost you a few points in the league, you're all right in the league at the moment. So I'll say go for it.
Say points on the board, you can kind of make your changes a bit after that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've probably repeated myself a couple of times. I just think there's a few teams now. Prem. That's our bread and butter. Prem. Let's keep the momentum going in the Prem. And there's no point being in this Europe thing for one season and dropping down again, and then So yeah, I do take your point. Bournemouth. So there was the convo in last season. They got rid of Gary O'Neill. Owners have said we want to play this style of football. We've got this guy in.
It's not
3
working.
points later. Well, did they make any big signings? Did they make any massive investment in the squad? I would say no.
Nope.
So actually, is this gentleman's job is survival? I would argue this season.
100%.
I think it's survival. I don't think it's come to pull up any trees and then build from there.
100%.
Because Bournemouth weren't going to do they weren't going to do a Forest.
No.
We'll probably see maybe some loan signings, some movement in Jan. And then in the summer, we'll probably see a lot of Spanish players coming through. But then there's that. So his job is survive.
Yeah,
Get the most you
100.
can out of these players, out of the Solankis, etc., and get as far away from the bottom three as possible. Right? And I think that's a success for them in terms of that
But
situation.
I think they'll be in and around there
Yeah,
as
I agree.
they're expected to be.
I agree. Okay, cool. United. I was hoping to come here and have a very different conversation.
But they're not playing well.
No, and I watched that game, and I'll be honest, that moment that Bruno had, that level of quality, is the issue that Burnley have. So from back four midfield, they play a certain way, they progressing the ball nicely, and they're not. I don't even think they're being naive about it. They're not even going gung ho. They are. But then you kind of get to the final third, and you're like, come on,
who's putting the ball in the net?
Yeah, well, even who's making that right decision to put that person in front of goal. Now I know their main strikers, he got sent off, etc. But I don't even know if that decision is getting made often enough to put him in front of the goal, given their chances enough. But yeah, they didn't outplay. Man United didn't outplay them. It was the opposite actually for quite a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think if Burnley don't hit the post and that shot goes in, I think it's a totally different game. Like I think they get their tails up, and then Man United are kind of forced to think about what they do.
I mean, Burnley had 61% possession.
That's mad.
I know they're a home team, but this is Man United.
Yeah.
This is Man United. This is Burnley's the new promoted team. It was 647 passes to Man United's 403.
Wow.
So a moment of brilliance, and that's why you're Man United. But overall, as an overall game and performance, it wasn't fantastic. I think the bright spot is Hannibal.
Can we talk about the moment though? Because I know Bruno gets a lot of stick sometimes. He doesn't do X, Y, and Z. But there's only a small amount of players
that can do that.
Do that. And he gives you 3 points. He gives you 3 points. You go home with 3 points from one moment of quality.
No, it's 2 moments of quality, right? Because Evans has got to make that pass.
Yeah.
So it's one thing seeing it. It's one thing being like, I'm going to do it. It's another thing to execute it like that. When, let's be honest, he hasn't played that much in the last 2 years. Everything around you is fairly negative about, you're the joke. Oh my God, they've got to put Evans in. And then he pulls out the bag, and actually, he was probably the best defender in the Man United backline.
Yeah, Bruno gave him the man of the match award.
I
don't know how Bruno got it.
Well, just for the goal, innit?
Yeah,
brilliant goal.
Like,
but that finish, and you watch these things in games, you're like, oh yeah,
fantastic.
And I was
amazing.
It reminds me of the Cristiano Ronaldo scored a similar goal. From a start, it was in the box. It was
Van Persie, innit?
He was Van Persie.
Van Persie. But last season, I'm sure Cristiano scored one like that. He was in the deeper in the 6-yard box, but the angle was tight. But it came over his shoulder, and he just quality, world class elite.
Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
I know they got injuries, but we spoke about the diamond that Man United have played. I don't get it, man. Like, and obviously, like I say, you got injuries, the personnel that you've got to put on, etc. But I don't.
In the words of my good friend Isaac, we need to have a conversation about Rashford.
No.
Not now. Wait. Not now. No, we do. No, we do, bro.
No.
Because, no. Because
I think it's scapegoating.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
Did you watch the game?
Yeah, but that's that. Okay, if you take that game into isolation, people are saying that he's like that every single game, and I don't think it is. Like,
I'll be honest. When I watch him play, he is like that more than he isn't. Like if we think about over the course of, okay, we'll come to it, but he is not where we thought he would be now. If we think about his trajectory, him fulfilling his potential, that he is not performing and giving the output that we expected in the way that we expected.
Last season he did.
Okay, and the season before that, and the season before that.
I think he wasn't consistent last season. It was flashes, weren't it?
Yeah.
But last season, how much goals did he get last? He got a lot of goals last season. Yeah. And there was a lot of games where he won them the game. Just like Bruno won them the game.
Yeah.
Slightly agendaless, but the last time he played like that was also the last time he needed a contract, isn't it? I'm just saying.
It is what it is.
But don't worry, we'll come to that.
All right.
Yo, Luton.
Go on, Luton.
Man, we need Isaac here, man.
Go on, Luton.
What's that, their first point?
Never a penalty though.
Yo,
never a penalty.
However,
Crazy.
I got one for you. I was thinking about it today.
Mm.
Apparently, the rules say even if it deflects off your foot or your leg or whatever, if your arm or your hand is in an unnatural position, it still counts. The deflection is irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I think the rule is stupid.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes refereeing hard.
Yes,
because of the
because
rules.
the rules
Yeah,
done,
because of the wordings of the rules. That's what makes it.
Yeah, there's no way that should be
That's
given
not
a
their penalty.
And I guess question for you, Daz. I mean, there's assessment, there's recourse after, right? So if you make a decision in the moment afterwards, it's like that was wrong, banned for a week or whatever. Do you think that in that situation, as a ref, you kind of just go say that's just not handball?
No, you can't.
Because
do
it's
that.
not worth. It's not worth the.
But then your assessor will then mark you down.
Yeah,
because you're not there. You're not there to decide whether it's handball or not. The rule decides whether it's handball or not.
No.
You're just there to apply the rules of the game.
Yeah.
You're not there to make the rules. You apply them. So the problems are the rules.
Yeah. That you can't even. And you apply a real human element to it. Well, if that was me, I'm not giving it. But to your point, it's your job in it, and get assessed in it. Yeah, it's a tough one. That all of us are
on a
saying,
Sunday down Hackney, you can say, that's not a penalty. But in the Premier League, you have to give it. Yeah,
that's poor. However, that's why we love the game, because that's giving them
their first point.
The first point. I mean, I thought they were gonna miss the pen, but they got their first point on the board. Finally, everyone's got some point. And from a goal difference point of view, I mean, Newcastle didn't help, but from a goal difference point of view, I mean, they're 18th, mate.
They went up 2 places, didn't they? Yeah, they went up 2 places, yeah.
Burnley are 19th, and Sheffield United, I mean, I didn't see that coming, and I'm still going to try what you said. I'm going to keep quiet until like Thursday. But I don't think it bodes well for them anyway. It wasn't a game-changing performance or anything. Did you see Neto's goal?
Yeah, the goal they conceded, I was like...
Well, it was terrible. Terrible from a Luton point of view, but brilliant from Neto.
But Wolves had 10 minutes. And I was just like...
And he didn't even matter.
How's he... Like, Neto has clearly shown quality in it. But how he's run through and got that, it doesn't bode well.
It was poor defending,
for them at all, to be honest.
Yeah, so... Yeah, not much to talk about in that game, but we just had to shout Luton out. We've been battering them every episode, but you got your first points, lad. Just 11 more to go. Right? At least get 11.
Let's see.
You get relegated. Like, let's call a spade. But just don't go out like Derby. At least give yourselves that. Collect your parachute money, build your stadium, and we'll see you back again in 6 years.
It would be funny if they went down with 1 point.
That would be hilarious.
Just for like...
possible.
Nah, they'll get some points.
Bro.
They'll get a win. They'll get a win. Somewhere, they'll get a win. I think they'll definitely win again.
Too, bruv.
I think
Can't see it.
I can see them beating like an Everton or something like that. I can see them winning again.
They've got Burnley in 2 weeks. No, next week, sorry.
Is that the rescheduled game?
So, let's see.
I don't even see them beating Burnley. Burnley are going to finish them.
Is it?
I don't know, man.
Especially if that striker back. Burnley are going to finish them. You see some of the defending.
Is it the bottom three, the three that came up? They're 1 point each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're already.
It's ominous, isn't it? It's ominous. Very ominous. And then Sheffield United. Newcastle. To think that I was and ahhing, Newcastle, they're away, can't trust them.
Sheffield United play well against City.
Football, we've got no clue, mate.
I thought they were unlucky in the first 20 minutes or whatever. The first couple of goals, they were a bit unlucky.
The first goal, I know it didn't cross the line, but I thought it bounced up in Gordon's hand, didn't it? And I thought they had to...
I thought they were...
Because
it went directly to a goal,
and in the build-up of the goal, it's not a goal.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And again, you can sound a little bit careless when you're like, that could have changed things, because they went and scored 7 more. But I think it's a little bit simplistic to ignore how the momentum builds.
Yeah.
So maybe...
And a lot of the players stopped as well in that when that happened.
Yeah, the obvious handball, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's so demoralising. And then that's where the mentality comes in, right?
Yeah.
And it just crumbles. Newcastle get a bit of a high. And they had 8 different scorers. It's not like...
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's not like someone slapping a hat-trick or 2. 8 different goals.
That's even if the whole team scored a goal.
Mate, basically. Yeah. It's almost like everyone but a couple of defenders and a goalkeeper.
Do we think the manager's in trouble? He was one that was cussing the referees in that last week, innit? So
they're saying that Wilder's getting warmed up. They're warming up. He's stretching on the sideline.
Apparently the owners was talking to him.
So what? Are Newcastle back? Like, what we said?
I think it's hard to say, innit?
But in the last 5 games, they've lost 3. I mean, we're 6 games in. They've lost 3 and won 3. And
like this result doesn't really.
we're saying that's good for Villa. Is that good enough for Newcastle?
But what I will say is that the last 3 games is 3 clean sheets. So I think they're going back to last season.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I think
the last 2 games have been clean sheets.
and then the one Europe as well.
Yeah.
So it was 3 games in a week and they never conceded a goal.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, and to be fair, they lost to Brighton, they lost to Liverpool, and they lost to City.
So that's 3 hard games.
So those are the 3 games they've lost. City, Liverpool, Brighton. I mean, again, when you look at it in the context of things, Brighton is a team that there's no shame to losing to.
No, not now anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a 3-1 loss. It wasn't a crazy battering. And they've beat Brentford. They've beat Sheffield United. Again, 2 games you expect them to win. So sometimes I think the sequence tells a narrative that sometimes isn't there. The sequence of games and who you play sometimes tells a narrative.
But you do have to beat some of the teams that that are going to be the harder games. Especially they're coming from fourth
Villa,
last year, so they need to.
They got that Villa game out of the way.
Yeah, and I think to the point made earlier, they made top 4 last season, right? Liverpool were out of the mix. A couple of teams were out of the mix. Liverpool are out as so far back in the mix. So that's probably the team whose place you took.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was
As Man United dropped out the mix.
Yeah, Man United dropped out of the mix.
Tottenham are back in it.
Yeah, Tottenham dropped out. So I think Arsenal and Newcastle took Liverpool and Tottenham's, So now Newcastle, let's see. Everyone's back in the mix. It's a 6-horse race almost. Let's see now. And then if you look going forward to their fixtures, let me see where they're going fixture-wise. They got Burnley at home. West Ham away. Not a joke.
Oh, that's a real test.
And that's definitely a midfield battle I want to see because I don't know if I'm 100% sold on the Joe Linton, Guimaraes and
Tonali. Tonali didn't start on Saturday.
No.
Was it Longstaff?
Yeah,
Longstaff.
he scored,
Scored the first goal.
So, looking at Bruno and saying, okay, can you do it again this season? Joe Linton, is there a limit to your industry and getting around and being tall? Like, is there a limit, or can we see some more Brazilian?
Bruno just signed a contract last week as well, didn't he?
Yeah. That's asset protection, that one there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But it's interesting that Tonali never started.
I think he's been the best out of the 3 of them.
But is he trying to go back to last season? That why he's not starting?
I just think it's because it's Sheffield United. You played Milan midweek.
Yeah.
You got Sheffield United away.
Yeah. Should be used to the Prem and all that. Yeah. And then they've got Palace, Wolves away, then Arsenal. So you say what? Out of those 1, 2, 3, 4 games, you're expecting 10 points minimum.
Yeah, I think that will tell us a lot about him. Actually,
I think that's 10 points minimum. And at that point, we're probably 10, 11 games in. So, okay. I mean, some other results, but nothing to shout about. City beat Forest. Okay.
Expected great header from Haaland.
Yeah. Guys, I think it's 60-something games and 60-something goals for City. I mean...
And he's still missing a hatful of chances as well. Like, that's the maddest thing. He's not even
he missed
clinical.
He missed one.
If he's being clinical, Jesus.
I mean, if he's going to be one of the quickest players to get to 100 Prem goals, surely.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
If he stays here, this is his 2nd season, right? But if he stays here 4 or 5 seasons and keeps up a certain rate,
What, you thinking the record?
Well, you're looking 30 minimum 30 per season, isn't it?
150 goals. I'm not saying the record because the record's 264? 260. But even to get in those ranges, big in the space of 4 or 5 seasons, it's just
each milestone he'll be the
Who is the quickest so far to get to 100 so far?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I want to say Henry, but that's what my bias talking.
Want me to have a look?
I want to say Aguero.
Yeah, true.
It might even be Suarez or someone.
Prem goals. Suarez got 100 Prem.
Yeah, I'm sure he has.
I'm joking. So there we go. Salah was 5th. Alan Shearer was the quickest.
Sure.
Okay.
124 appearances.
Wow.
Good ratio.
Harry
That's
Kane
ridiculous.
was second, 141. Aguero was third, 147.
Okay.
Henry's fourth, 160. Salah was 62.
But the first Prem
Wow.
season, it was 42 games, weren't it?
Yeah, true. But still, appearance-wise,
Yeah,
Mhm.
not bad.
that's... Shearer was on stuff.
Wow.
He was really on stuff. So if we circle back to some of the wider topics, we talked about the North London derby a little bit, but let's hone in on a couple of subjects. This thing is not going to go away. Do Arsenal need a true number 9? And you know, in football, you got to be inverted commas. But we as fans who watch ball and have seen enough of Arsenal, Eddie Nketiah is our closest thing to a quintessential kind of number 9. So I think the actual question is, do we need to go and get a ready-made elite number 9?
Yes.
What do you think?
So we're talking about someone to go in front of Jesus.
Yes. Someone that comes in and because of the goals he scores and the chances he takes, he gives us that edge. We know basically Harry Kane, Mo Salah, you know that kind of advantage they give you. When there's 5 chances,
You
they
need that
Alright,
15
you want-
to 20
yeah.
goals.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Yes, ideally you do want that, but I can't give you a name. But ideally, if
Osimhen.
there's someone out there,
Go get
Then-
Victor Osimhen.
yes, you would want that.
Yeah.
Osherman, Tony,
Oh yeah.
Not Tony.
why not?
You wouldn't take Tony?
I wouldn't put Tony in front of Jesus. No.
I would.
I wouldn't.
as a number 9.
As to play on my team, I wouldn't put Tony in front of
Okay,
Jesus.
no, but I'll answer my question.
yeah, as a number 9.
But that's what Jesus is playing as number 9. No, I wouldn't.
So
Interesting.
if Ivan Toney, he scored 20 Prem goals,
For Brentford.
if he came and replicated that level of form, you would still play Jesus ahead of him.
How many penalties has he got in there in that 20?
I don't think he's got that many.
Is it relevant?
This is irrelevant.
Why is it-
It's
it's relevant. That
This is relevant.
I don't think it is.
It is.
This is
It's
relevant.
relevant. It's relevant. It is relevant.
All right, fair enough.
It's relevant because the problem you think Tony is solving is
Yeah.
open play chances.
Yeah.
So if he scored 12 pens,
Yeah, but we know it's not like it can't be more than like 3 or 4 for the season. Like Brentford don't get that many penalties. I think if Arsenal now had a number like a solid number 9, like a Tony, I think you far exceed what you're doing and the performances that you're looking for. Raid like Nketiah, barely made an impact yesterday. Could have been sent off as well.
No, I totally agree.
Maybe should have been
I
sent
think
off.
he should have been sent off.
Should have been
Yeah.
sent off.
Mm.
And I think with Nketiah, he will get you the odd goal here and there.
Mm.
But I don't think you don't start again. I don't watch Arsenal and be like, Nketiah's going to score today.
No, I'd put Tony in front of Nketiah all day long, but I'm talking about from Jesus' level because he's the starter, not Nketiah.
But even the same, like going back to like his City days, he misses a lot of big chances.
and
Like,
the thing is, the
a
stats,
lot.
the stats throughout his career to date tell you his level is
wasteful.
1 in 3 striker. That's his level.
I
yeah. No.
I
So,
I
what you
agree.
said,
I
and-
agree. He's not prolific,
Yes.
but I do appreciate the other things that he brings to the game as well. He's not. He does a lot of other stuff. Very,
Yeah,
very
no,
good,
Can't he do
but
that
not finishing.
and have a number 9?
Well, I think other people can do the other stuff he does, and we have a number 9 who puts away chances.
Yeah, well, if you've got other players that are providing like that, which I don't think we have, I don't think our wingers and our midfield are very good providers. Like, I don't think they provide like City, like the amount of chances.
Well, so when Jesus was missing for those months of last season, what was happening?
You're scoring goals.
You were scoring goals, bro. They were providing for each other. The strikers,
Fully fit.
Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, they were providing for each other,
Fully
right?
fit, your full complement are providing. Saka coming in, Martinelli.
So he scored 6 penalties.
So then we're taking that down to 14 goals then.
Yeah.
But as we said, how many?
And I
how
think
many?
Jesus would have been on par with that last season if he didn't get the injury.
No,
Nah, you can't say
You
that.
can't say that.
What do you mean you
again,
can't say that?
How many strikers score? We said this. How many strikers score 14 plus goal in the Premier League? Like it's not often. And if you get those penalties, you want someone who's going to score the penalties when they come, and that's what he's doing. So I think
I just wouldn't personally. I wouldn't have Tony.
So
I would have Tony and Jesus as my two strikers.
Yeah,
that I can.
Well, we don't.
That I
that
can
you
use.
can rotate.
Yeah, I can
agree.
rotate,
I
and
agree.
whichever game I feel is going to be better for each one, I use.
And that's where I'm landing. I think we need that option. We don't have that option at the moment.
Yeah, the option would be good.
And I think if you think about where Arsenal are as a club, we are more likely to go and spend Tony money than Victor Osimhen money, right? But if I could pick out the two, obviously I'm taking Osimhen. Right? He's carried on. It's not like it's a flash in the pan. He's carried on scoring. He scored in the Champions League. Like he's proven to be a certain level of striker. But the striker market is thin right now. Like elite striker market is thin.
Yeah, I think you've got to find someone soon.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
I think that's just you're missing. I even said it when you signed Jesus last season. I was like, yeah, he's good, but he's not that out and out striker. Going to be in the box, get you the 15 to 20 goals.
Well, look what we paid for him.
Want. Yeah, like what you paid is very. Like, yeah.
You know, getting someone that was going to do that. You know, Harry Kane at his age still moved for 100 million. Yeah. Osimhen would cost you, I don't even want to know, 120.
City.
Yeah, so there's that. But I do think it's it's not glaring, but where we've fixed other areas or we've got depth in other areas, we've done the goalkeeper thing. You know, defense by and large, I think we could do maybe another right back, another centre back, but Timber's gonna come back.
Yeah.
So you've done the polyfiller and the other cracks. You got Rice in, and if Partey goes, you might get someone else in, etc. So is now you're looking up front and saying that's the place where you haven't probably got the same level as you have in your other positions.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
And if you solve that by going and getting someone, either another up and comer, some gem somewhere, or you go and give Brighton 100 million and say we'll take Ferguson.
Well, that's what I would do personally.
Yeah,
I would go for Ferguson. He would be my number one choice.
But that's more of a gamble, though. I think it's more of a gamble than Tony.
Yeah, I think Tony's output will be better instantly.
How old is Tony? 27, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think Tony's more than worthy of a chance at a big club.
Yeah, he's 27.
Mm.
Just turned as well, so he's 28 next year. And again, if you think about where we shop, we're not Osimhen shopping yet. We're not. Especially after buying Rice.
We can do Ferguson shopping, though.
No, but I think Ferguson will still cost you 100 million.
Yeah. I think
80 million, maybe.
Yeah.
It's Brighton.
Yeah, they want boxing.
Yeah.
I think like if Tony was available in the summer and he could play, I think buying him for the Kai money would have been like would have made perfect sense. I don't think anyone would have had any.
And maybe that's
with it.
And maybe that's why that didn't happen. I think if Tony isn't banned, maybe I'll still try and do that. So yeah, we'll see. I guess Arsenal thread, but following on, Rodri loses his mind a little bit, gets to grips with Barman's neck, and now he's it's a straight red card, violent conduct, 3-match ban. Is he a big miss for the Arsenal game?
Yeah, he's a big miss for any game.
Is he though?
I think so.
Yeah, like obviously Man City have got the squad to cover in various positions. But
Kovacic, Nunes, like
you're playing Arsenal at the Emirates. You want Rodri in it. Like I think they can get away with not having KDB there. That's fair enough. But it's City though, innit? Like
that's what I'm saying.
As soon as that red card went up, I bet Pep was thinking about what he's gonna do.
Yeah, cool.
in the games and working the plan, like we said. Like Covers come in and just hit the ground running. So he's a capable DM.
They've
like
got
if he's fit.
Phillips.
Yeah,
so what?
He's the replacement. Didn't he come on? Did he come on the other day?
He came on. He came on the other day.
Yeah.
Like, Pep clearly doesn't rate him, bro. Like
I think it's more to do with Rodri, how good Rodri is about that why he doesn't get a look in.
Nah, because even certain games,
like Pep rotates in it, like everywhere.
He don't rotate Rodri though. Rodri don't get rotated,
because he hasn't got a capable deputy to come in. I don't think it's not going to be a massive drop off because of the way City play. Pep sets up his team to kind of they all go out and know what they're doing, etc. But like it'd be interesting to see kind of the form going into that game, whether how the teams are playing. I think it'll be a bit of a miss, but City should have enough to come away with at least a point based on the way everyone's
Well, to that
playing.
point, if you're really gonna prove that last season wasn't a flash in the pan, you need to prove that you can take advantage of those weaknesses or relative weaknesses or those gaps in their team. So, with Rodri out, with KDB out, yes, they've still got Haaland and they've still got players who can hurt us. Grealish seems to enjoy playing against us as well. You definitely are saying, well, can you exploit that? Can you? Kovacic is good, but he's no Rodri. Calvin Phillips is not a Man City player, if you ask me personally. But I don't think he starts that game. I think he finds a way.
I just hope Rice is fit. If Rice isn't fit, I think Arsenal.
Yeah.
Arsenal
Well,
chances to
actually,
really
I don't mind Rice or Partey. I think Partey has proven he can play in those games, but he's got a foot injury, so it's not like it's
I don't think
something
he'll be back.
super major. I was definitely gonna be back.
Yeah.
So
I think Arsenal have to win that game already.
No, I agree.
I think Arsenal have to win that game.
But even before the season started, those are the games I'm looking for Arsenal to win this season. You got to.
Yeah.
You got to. Or you at least got to give them a challenge that's at the level when Liverpool were banging out City, those games were not a foregone conclusion. It was who turns up on the day. We need to get to that point with the City games.
Yeah.
Get to that point with the City games.
Especially at home.
Yeah. Exactly that.
Put a glove on them.
No, all right, come on.
I'm saying, isn't it?
No. European debuts. Newcastle, Brighton, Villa. I mean, the stats for the Newcastle game,
they were fortunate.
Crazy.
I thought they were going to get cooked.
Crazy.
I thought they were going to have a reverse of Sheff United. Like some of those.
Yeah, they were fortunate. Very, very fortunate to come away with a point there.
But they came away with a point.
Yeah.
Away from home. Did any of you see the game?
No, I didn't. I just caught the highlights.
And from that, were they just overrun? What did it? What was the? Because they got PSG next. Like they got a. I mean, it's at St James's Park. That's going to be rocking.
Yeah. First Champions League game in a long
Milan
time.
away. 25 shots Milan had.
Crazy.
I mean, only 9 on target, but still.
It's a great result. I heard that the goalie was inspired. The Newcastle goalie made some great saves.
They had 6 shots, 1 on target. Possession-wise was fairly even, but yeah, they were getting peppered, man. Absolutely peppered.
But that's what you want, though, isn't it? Like going away, it's like a big European away game. Coming away with a point, like a point away in the Champions League is very valuable. Isn't it? Considering you only play 6 games, if you can get a valuable point away from home, and then when you play at home, I think PSG, they can kind of write off those 2 games. So when they're playing,
I was about to say.
What?
No.
I think they could beat PSG at St James's. I think they could. Why couldn't they?
I think that's a great result. I think they can. Them getting a point from PSG at home. I was gonna say their home games they shouldn't be losing. They need to.
Yeah.
They're gonna get
if
that group.
they win 2 of them, I think they need to win 2 of their home games.
Yeah.
At the 3, they need to win 2 of them.
Dortmund.
So they've got Dortmund at home,
Milan.
and Dortmund aren't great at the moment.
And Milan or PSG. They need to. Yeah.
PSG's
Two of the three.
Two of the 3.
Draw best.
2 of the 3.
And they need to beat Milan at home, and you're cool. But yeah, they're not beating PSG.
If you
away, and
get
they're not beating
7-8 points, you got a real good chance
you
of
want to
going
aim
through.
for 10 though, innit? Like 10,
Yeah.
10 is your. We should
Or 10,
qualify.
you're kind of winning the group if you're getting 10.
No, a lot of teams are getting 15 points in the Champions League. I know you ain't been there for a while.
Yeah.
So you're not really looking. I think you'll
that'll probably be us. Yeah. We'll get.
like you'll
I
get
don't think we'll get
15. Unless you
get 12.
you get 12
and then
or 9 and then drop. Yeah, then like rest a couple players. I think you'll get more than enough to go through.
But yeah, I think the real test as a debut away at AC Milan does seem to have been playing with the same vim and vigour as last season. But yeah, away at PSG.
No, they're home to PSG first.
Yeah, first, but I'm talking about in the round of fixtures.
Oh, yeah, away to PSG.
Because even at home to PSG is not a red herring, but you haven't been in the Champions League for a while. Atmosphere is going to be crazy. All the scene is set for
Could be too emotional, you think?
No, I think the scene is set for an out of body performance.
Yeah, I think they could win. I think they could win that. Yeah,
they'll give a good account of themselves. Yeah, because if Mbappe's on it, it's long, isn't it?
No, but they got
So
their defense is the strongest part. you got Trippier. He ain't gonna be fazed by
Yeah, true.
Mbappe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
True.
like.
But then,
Damn,
so even if they do something spectacular there, that's a special case. But then it's go away to Dortmund, that atmosphere,
Yellow wall.
the crowd, the yellow
Yeah.
wall. Go to PSG. Those are the games where we say, okay.
Well, they're gonna try and do the same thing like San Siro. Just sit back and soak up all
soak it
them
up.
pressure.
Dangerous. Dangerous. And then we can really, really judge it there. But, Newcastle, we say debut, but more is you haven't been there for some time. It was Brighton's debut in Europe though, wasn't it? It was their first ever UEFA competition. I didn't see the game. Did either of you see the game?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, it was quite end to end. And the reason why they lost is because, like I say, when you play in games and you're playing against a team, they don't always take their chances. Athens just took their chances.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you saw their first goal with a header, came from a corner. He was on like the edge of the box, headed it like bullet header straight into the corner, like one of those ones.
Yeah, like a shot.
Yeah. Then Brighton got back in the game again. Athens took the lead. Brighton got back in the game. And then you're going to give up chances like in European football, and Athens just took their chances. That was it, really. And I don't think that's going to happen consistently over the competition for Brighton. So I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, it's about to change. I mean, they got Marseille next away.
They've got a tough group.
Yeah, it's not a joke, man.
Is it Ajax in it as well?
Yeah.
Marseille's Aubameyang,
Yeah. But I mean, they made a few signings. They made a couple of signings, that team.
Yeah. They got smoked on Sunday to PSG, though.
Yeah. Differently.
Yeah.
And they're having a bit of an issue off the pitch as well. The ultras have started to act up and
we should touch on that on a different pod, because the same happened with Ajax.
Ajax had it,
Ajax fans, that seemed like that was very deliberate. This game getting called off.
Yeah,
they were losing 3-0
down.
But they've got to play it on Wednesday behind closed doors. They've got to finish the game.
Finish the game.
So to final start 3-0 up?
Yeah. They got to finish the game.
You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that.
We should speak on that in a later pod.
No, we will do.
Yeah.
We will do. And then I guess, and then Villa.
That's the game I watched. The Villa one.
Who did they play?
It was
Legia. Yeah.
they got Warsaw.
Yeah, Warsaw.
The atmosphere was crazy.
Puff.
The atmosphere was very crazy.
Again, 3-2. It wasn't a drubbing.
No, it wasn't a drubbing.
And it's Unai. He knows he knows what he's doing. It's not like it's a team that's totally devoid of European experience.
They were very open though, Villa. I think that the occasion did get to them a little bit. They were very open.
Highlight,
they had
innit?
19 shots.
You got that highlight, yeah.
Majority of possession. They were the away team with their majority of possession. 19 shots. But it looks like someone took their chances and
that's what it was. Every time they broke, they looked like they could score.
Did you do the high line again?
Yeah. Done the highlight. So whenever Warsaw broke, they looked like they could score.
He's not having
and then they had one player that could take his chance. I think he scored 2. I think a Warsaw player scored 2.
A guy called Ernest Mucci.
Yeah, and he was good. He could take his chances.
Who's this John Duran?
Yeah, he's a young one. He's young. They bought him.
I always remember it because of the way he spells his name. J-H-O-N. I just didn't get it. So we're looking at 2 losses and a draw. It's on the face of it not great, but actually these are all away fixtures, right?
No, Brighton.
No, Brighton were at home. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. But for your debut, Europa League, let's see how they get on with Marseille. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Ball for ball. But I think, again, to my point, it's their debut season. See it out, learn the lessons, let the players learn the lessons. And
If they don't get qualified from the group, it's no shame, is it?
you're a £20 million team.
Yeah. You got your, what's it, TV money.
Away at Marseille is a hard game as well. That's a atmosphere kind of game.
And that stadium.
Yeah.
Was it the Velodrome they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No joke.
It's gonna be
Is that who
serious.
Drogba was at?
Huh?
Marseille, before he signed for Chelsea.
Who?
Drogba.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. We played them in the UEFA Cup. And
That when he did the chop?
He bullied us.
I always remember him at
You had a
Marseille. He
few
did
people,
it. He was
yeah.
one of the keeper and the defender. And he did the chop and then scored.
Yeah, it could be.
I can't remember who he did that against.
Payet's playing for them. He used to play for them last few
He's
matches.
just gone. You know where Payet is gone?
He's gone
to Brazil or somewhere.
Yes, he has, yeah. Because he said he wouldn't stay in France when he left, innit?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he made a pact with the club.
Yeah, whatever, man. Money was there.
Yeah.
Done it. So, quick roundup of last week's Champions League. I just pick out a couple of highlights from our point of view. Obviously, Arsenal, PSV, great result at home. It's Champions League and it's a great result. But I feel like that was a fixture that could have happened in the Europa League.
It was the Europa League last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. We just all carried it through. So, not getting carried away with it because, yes, we're both in the Champions League, but it's PSV.
Yeah.
Right? So good start, good result. I thought it'd be a good springboard for Sunday. Okay, we didn't lose, but it didn't quite turn out that way.
Is quarterfinal your minimum expectation?
No. I think we've had this debate before. For a lot of these players, this is their first taste of Champions League, no?
No, I think they should get into quarterfinal, yeah.
Really?
So you're going to win the group.
Yeah, we should get out
You're going to
the
win the
group.
group.
And then you're playing a second place team.
Yeah.
As long as if you get Bayern Munich, Real Madrid or something like that by chance, then I'll say no. But everyone else,
I'll be honest, I think for me, it's the account of ourselves that we give.
Get out of here, man.
No, I'm being serious.
Don't give me that.
I'm being serious.
You can't be happy with the last 16. Like, you can't.
Obviously, I'm not going to be happy, but I'm not going to ignore the facts. Again, just because we've done certain things in the league and that. Listen, we talk about the Champions League at a certain level. We can't dismiss it when it suits us. A lot of these players, this is probably the first time properly played Champions League weekend. Didn't cope with the Europa League that well. We saw that, and it was
but
massive.
you rotated like lesser players there, though, didn't you?
We won the Europa League. Yeah, exactly. So now it's going to be Saka playing. Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli.
The thing
playing
is,
even more
it's
games.
Champions League, but once the music finishes, it's just another game of football.
Yeah,
it's a game of football once the music ends. So
I hear that, but and also isn't this Arteta's first season managing in the Champions League as well? Yeah,
yeah.
So let's be clear. There's a lot of learning going on here. So, I think as great as we think he is and what he's done in the UK, Champions League is a different thing. Europe is a different thing. So for me personally, if we get to, we should get through the group.
Yeah.
Win it. Get through the group, win it. And depending on who we get in the knockout stage, I'll adjust my expectations. But even if we get Bayern Munich, I don't care. Don't be getting slapped 5-0 and all that nonsense like we've had in the past.
What I think...
Push them.
I think we shouldn't be going out to a lesser team than us. So I don't think... if you win the group, I don't think you get a team that's as good as or better than you in the next round.
I think if you
the last 8, then you get a team that might be as good as or better than you. And if you go out, then I'm okay. But if I'm not going out to a team that I think is less than us now.
I think if you look at the groups, the only and if you say the pot, the first seed pots win all their groups. The only group you're really only looking at is the Newcastle group.
One way.
So you might get PSG or Milan, possibly.
What you will find though is that someone will mess up along the way. Someone who was meant to win the group doesn't win the group.
You might get Madrid or Napoli, or Galatasaray or Copenhagen. That's this Man United.
Yeah, but I'm expecting to beat them.
Quarterfinals, man. Like, I think that's the minimum.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I genuinely feel like, and you get to the knockout stages, and it's true cup competition time, innit? People turn up. We've had this conversation before. Remember last season we were saying, these people are gonna get here, people get there, and we were totally wrong. So expectation wise, it sounds fluffy in that. My thing is, I don't care who we get in the 16. So even this thing of let's avoid, but no. Let's get the Bayerns, let's go whoever. My big thing with Arsenal's always been, you'll fly through the group and do whatever, and then you just capitulate in that knockout. There was no point you coming out of the group. So get there and just push whoever you get. You're right. If it's a lesser team, we should beat them.
Yeah,
if it's someone that's stuck through, if it's a Copenhagen, whatever, deal with them and get through. But if it's not, just give a Champions League account of yourself. Don't be going by and then getting slapped up at the Allianz 6-0 and all this rubbish. Those days need to end. I don't care how inexperienced Arteta and the players are. That's my big thing. And you can understand that from the years.
Yeah. To be fair, I think you can kind of take a little bit of inspiration from Liverpool, where we haven't been particularly great in leagues and whatnot, and done well in the cup competitions. I think you're good enough, and I'm basing this on last year,
Yeah.
start of the season, to be a Champions League quarterfinal team.
Yeah. And I
Easily.
think that
minimum.
that striker stuff we talked about earlier
Could come back.
is those things there. Those are the games where Champions League is tight. It's 1 or 2 chances. We need a man that's gonna kill, bang, just deal with it. And don't get me wrong, we've got other players that might do. We've got the Sakas, we've got the Martinellis, Odegaard, Trossard, etc. But the Jesus that chopped my man and put it bottom corner against Man United. I need that guy every game. That's what you want at your main
in
striker.
the big games, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. By Man United, I feel like the 4-3 scoreline has helped them out, man. it didn't feel like a 4-3 game. It felt like Bayern took them to school.
We're going to speak on the goalkeeper.
Well, we said he's not going to come in and be the keeper everyone wants him to be straight away. We said he would need time to blood in.
And the thing is, I've got a slightly different take on this. He's making quote-unquote normal keeper mistakes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's not making the mistakes I thought he was going to make. I thought there was going to be issues with him trying to kick ball and trying to pass out.
Oh,
a bit like
okay.
what
And get
Sanchez
caught.
did at
Yeah,
Brighton.
get
What
caught,
happened at Brighton?
Yeah. But he's not doing that.
No,
he's
he's not.
doing the kind of mistakes that actually it happens to keepers once in a while. And when someone makes a step up to a big club like that, we've seen it get to them and they make mistakes. Like, obviously, for the banter and this, we're cooking the Man United fans. But when you take a step back and say, well, what are the type of mistakes? Unfortunately, he's not making the kind of mistakes I was expecting. He's not trying to be clever in the box, and because even if he makes a mistake, he's still chopping the player. He's still coming across. He's still being
so
that +1. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I actually think if you really judge it on a keeper basis, is he having a worse start than we've seen some keepers make when they go to a big club? I don't think he is.
Not at all. Not
I
at
think
all.
he is. De Gea had the same. Alisson's had a few clangers.
Yeah, Edison. The scrutiny is going to be there because he's a new goalkeeper at Manchester United,
And he plays an unorthodox way with the ball.
and who he's replaced.
Yeah.
But they need to win their home games now.
100%.
Galatasaray away is going to be tough.
Yes, Zaha's going to be there.
Zaha,
Stepping over his life away.
Zaha, Ziyech and Icardi took the front three for Galatasaray.
I think United will be fine. To be honest, everyone's going to lose to Bayern away. So you haven't lost anything out.
But they have to pick up the wins at Old Trafford now.
It's a 3-team group. Bayern should win all the games.
Yeah, no, fair. PSG, Dortmund, 2-0 there. So they've already dealt with that.
Yeah.
Leipzig are looking. I don't know if you guys have seen any of Leipzig this season.
No,
they're looking interesting. David Simmons is there, looking lively. They're another team. They're a bit like the German Brighton. You sell your players, they sold someone like this, and it's like, okay, you were waiting, enter. Yeah. So it's young boys, 3-1 against young boys.
Yeah,
fine. But they seem to have waves where they do relatively well, but they don't actually quite win anything.
Yeah.
Kind of get to that point.
But they got like semi-final or something.
Didn't they? It'd be interesting to see us play it. I think us versus Leipzig would be an interesting one. Barcelona 5, Antwerp 0. Yeah, fine. Real Madrid laboured a bit against Union Berlin.
Yeah.
Was
it
Jude?
Union Berlin are no jokes though.
Was it Jude?
Yeah. It was Jude.
Rescued them. They lost on the weekend as well.
Yeah, 3-1. I saw some of that game.
Some commentary saying that's an Ancelotti problem, that he tried to be a bit clever with the tactics. And
he did.
He got outfoxed. A lot of other routine results. So looking ahead to the next match day. So match day 2. Yeah, you say Man United, Galatasaray, we're away to Lens. I think we should do the job there. Napoli, Real Madrid. Tasty.
Wow.
Give it to that at Napoli. So Real Madrid away. Dortmund AC.
Newcastle.
PSG, Newcastle at home. Yeah, that's going to be
a big game.
That atmosphere. Sometimes you watch a game and you talk about atmosphere, but sometimes, even in your house,
you feel it in it.
Watching the game, you're like, nah, this is gripping. This is electric.
What about Celtic? We're going to give Celtic a little mention. Who they got?
Celtic, Lazio.
Celtic, Lazio at Celtic.
Yeah,
that should be a good atmosphere. That's going to be a good. Especially when them Lazio Ultras turn up as well. That should be a good. That should be a good atmosphere.
And they lost against Feyenoord 2-0 and I had a man sent off. But I remember PSG going to Celtic.
Yeah.
Barcelona going to Celtic. I mean, Neymar.
Yeah.
admit that.
Yeah.
Remember they beat Barca 1 year, didn't they?
Yeah,
Young
yeah.
kids scored the.
Porto, Barcelona. Interesting game. Barcelona are interesting at the moment, you know. Cancelo scored again in the weekend. It got João Felix, Cancelo.
They were
Gundogan.
lucky at the weekend.
Yeah,
They were 2-0 down.
yeah, lucky or actually.
No, Celta Vigo played pretty well.
Played alright,
Like,
yeah, I
it's
watched
a
some of the
Rafa team,
highlights.
innit? Rafa, you know how Rafa
Yeah.
sets up.
They got
But
a
yeah, they scored three
Lewandowski.
in the last 10 minutes. didn't they?
Gundogan starting as well, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah. Cancelo's there. Alonso still starting left back. I don't know what's going on there. So yeah, I think Champions League is getting juicy. But that, for me, the standouts, Newcastle, PSG. I think Man United, Galatasaray again. As much as they're doing crap, any Champions League night at Old Trafford is.
And that Real Madrid game.
And then that Real Madrid Napoli game.
Yeah.
I think those are going to be the three to watch out for. Man City away to Leipzig. They seem to get Leipzig a lot. Am I
Yeah,
imagining that?
no, all the time.
They do,
They get
don't
them
they?
all the time.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting one to look out for. But we expect a City result there. Definitely expect a City result there. So yeah, this is why we like the Champions League. It kind of is what it is. Final one. Yeah, look at that. Say final one of the last ones on the point. Bringing it back to the Prem. I asked you a question about Liverpool's centre mid earlier.
Yeah.
And I think you touched on it about Liverpool needing a 6. And the reason why it's something that Isaac suggested we talk about, but I'm asking for a slightly different reason because I think we're getting into this trend thing in ball. Do you know what I mean? Like we talk about certain positions for a bit and then it's the next one. So it was false 9 for a bit. Now it's left a
Inverted fullback.
and all of it, yeah. And now we're all talking about the number. Like 3 or 4 years ago, we didn't talk about the numbers like this. Now it's you need a 6 or you need an 8. We only ever used to talk about a 10 or a striker or a 9.
The goalkeeper needs to be able to play out and all the rest of it, yeah.
So when we talk about Liverpool needing a 6, is it a little bit lazy to be like, well, you had this type of player before, so you have to replace him like for like? Or actually, you need to evolve the team in a certain way and you need a different version of a player in that area? Or do you just need to go out and get another Rodri? Like the next Rodri? Or is it just as simple as that? Or actually do you think, well, you know what? McAllister's been doing a certain job. It's actually about someone being able to fulfill a role in the Liverpool team.
It's a role that every team needs and every team will need going forward.
You think so?
It's just like the goalkeeper,
Yeah.
the centre-back, DM.
Totally agree.
Even when it was 4-4-2 as the formation, it was
2 8s though. When it was 4-4-2, it was 2 men running up and down, up and down.
No, there was
And
always
It was like a 4 and an 8. Yeah, 4 and an 8. Yeah.
And it's
kinda
weird
evolved,
that everyone
yeah.
says like
It kind of
the DM
evolved to that a little bit.
It was
When we think
cool.
about the Alonso, Gerrard, etc. But before that, would you say Petit and Vieira? They both did it. They didn't do it at the same time, but they both was
But one would sit more than the
Yeah,
other.
Petit would sit more. Like it's always
one would
been
sit
there.
more than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
Even like
probing it.
Keane and Scholes. Keane would sit a bit more
Yeah.
than what
And he
Scholes
would
would
still
do.
get up if
Yeah.
need be. But yeah, I think it's a position that will never die.
Yeah, I'm
It
just
will-
probing
it
it because
will-
we talk about this stuff as fans and now, especially these days with Twitter and all the I'm just probing a little bit to be
Yeah,
like,
no,
okay,
I totally understand the question. And I don't think that position is fluid as other positions on the pitch. Like your fullbacks became wing backs. Your
inverted fullbacks.
your traditional wingers have become forward,
Yeah,
attackers,
wide forwards.
wide forwards. And that's just the kind of the evolution of the 4-3-3. So it's weird, like when people say, "Oh, it's a 6," I always say it's a 4 because
that's
I'm
what. Yeah,
older, innit? Like,
A 6 was a centre back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 and 6.
Essien,
Yeah.
Makelele,
But the new gen, they use the letters, isn't it? So it's a CDM. Yeah, they So that's
Those are
what
full manager.
Yeah. So yeah,
And Gravenberch is in that 6.
apparently so. We don't know yet. Like, I think Klopp still needs to kind of figure it out. We've got Endo, who's meant to come in and be that person.
I was gonna say, why was McAllister doing 6 if Endo's around?
And on the bench.
Well, to be fair, like bar Luis Diaz, Salah, Mane, the signings that Klopp has brought, he
That's true.
normally
Yeah.
bloods them in. He doesn't normally throw them in.
That's true.
Which is surprising because he's done that with Szoboszlai and McAllister this season,
Yeah.
which he wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
He'd give them like.
I think to be fair to McAllister, he needed Prem. He already played in the
Yeah.
Prem. But Szoboszlai, I think he's just been quality.
Yeah,
That's all it is, yeah.
and that's why. Yeah, but to your point, I just think the DM is a position that will never change and is always needed. no
I
matter
totally
what.
agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a specialist role, and I think it's going to be a position that eventually he will fill. It doesn't actually. He might not have to buy someone, or he just turns a player into that.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yeah, and that's what
Because
they're saying
you've
about
got
potentially
and
Gravenberch.
obviously, I know he's injured at the moment, but you've got Trent coming in as well, so it makes it a little bit of an easier role because Trent's going to be next to that person if he's doing the inverted stuff.
Yeah.
So I reckon it's a position that is definitely needed, but not necessarily someone has to be purchased to do it.
Yeah, and I was wrong about the goalkeepers. Goalkeepers have evolved massively, innit? Before it was just, can you save the ball? Now it's, can you play out?
I think even the six bit has changed a little bit because if we think about, so would you say Busquets was a six in today's language, right? So I think it's evolved from being just a destroyer
Ball winner.
and a ball winner and pass it and literally give it to my man who's there. So now actually as a six, you are the first line breaker. You're the person that breaks through the lines and allows maybe an Odegaard or someone to be picking up the ball after the line of midfield, etc. And that's where I think people like Caicedo, I think I sent an article in I was reading the other day where people like Caicedo, Rice a little bit, maybe not as much, and other sixes, and Fernandes and co, are going for so much money because people are saying you're not only doing that bit, but you also have the ability
to
do that other part of the job as well. So that creative midfielder
Partey is a good example for
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah. So that creative midfielder is now picking up the ball in a way more advanced position.
Yeah.
And you know,
they're more comfortable on the ball as well.
Well, and then now the next fashionable phrase now, man's press resistant.
Yeah.
Man's press resistant. It basically means he can turn. But
He got, he's straight.
Exactly. But when he does turn, that pass can be made. So I think that's probably the evolution of that
think that's
piece.
come from the continent. It reminds me of
Vieira
like
and
Pirlo. Pirlo used to play that position, and he wasn't a destroyer.
No.
He's on the ball.
Picking up from the centre back.
Exactly. He's quarterback. Yeah,
He
so
was moving proper like a quarterback.
so that's what that's what.
But
it
it's
is.
almost like now you'll be a Pirlo, you'll be a bit of a Bakalele.
They call it deep line playmaker.
Yeah, exactly. But I think those guys are seen as someone that can do a little bit of all those jobs, and that's the key.
Well, those are the best ones. The best ones do a bit of,
and that's what
do a
it is.
bit of all that.
So I guess that's what you feel that Liverpool now needs.
Yeah, I just think if we had someone who offers a little bit more protection than what McAllister is doing.
Yeah. But also does the...
Yeah, but does someone like you said Caicedo earlier on, does he offer on the ball what McAllister's doing? Can he do that part of the job?
Yeah, but you would argue that McAllister would be the one getting the benefit of Caicedo being there because he's picking up the ball
further on the pitch. Yeah, so I just want to see us with a... And like we've got like Thiago can play there, Bichetti can play there, Endo.
Yeah, Thiago, I forgot about him.
Yeah, Thiago, definitely.
Yeah.
It's quality.
So we've got the options there. I just want to see him I would love to see Thiago, McAllister, Szoboszlai midfield just once this season, so I can be like, oh yeah, we've got this, like a bit like when we had Mascherano, Alonso, Gerrard kind of. Like, that's what it would remind me.
Yeah, Mascherano was one.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. Before you wrap up, though, I just want to. The League Cup is this week. Would you just throw it away? As an Arsenal fan?
I don't know what you think, mate. Trophy's a trophy. I'm not interested. Those boys need to, as soon as they can, know what it feels like to go to Wembley and win something.
They've done that. They've done that last month.
It was a charity shield, bruv.
We went to Wembley and won something.
Come on. Something proper.
It's a charity shield, man. I'm talking about...
Would you throw it away?
I'm not throw it away, but
I'm talking about you go through the
make
round.
11 changes, man. Everyone's going to make 11 changes. We got Brentford. Brentford are going to make 11 changes, so why would we not make 11 changes?
I think we should take the City approach to this. And I've always respected our City.
But City do make 11 changes, but still win. Because the squad's still good enough. Yeah, the squad's still good enough.
It's like he would, players KDBs and Sterlings and that would play on the weekend and then play Carabao Cup on a Wednesday or on Thursday. Which I always was like, whoa, that's crazy.
See what you play like Saka and that. I won't play.
Saka's played more games than certain men have played in their 5-year career. No. But the people who are first team, genuine first team, and are on first team, you play. So, you know, the Nketiah. This is the kind of game where maybe if Balogun was still here, he would play. No, play Nketiah.
No, play Smith Rowe.
Nelson, play Smith Rowe.
Vieira, those sort of players. Yeah.
So Ramsdale will start.
Like, Tomiyasu, them sort of players. Cedric.
I would still want to start.
Cedric's still there.
Yeah, still there, man.
I saw him on the training video.
No Cedric. He was on the bench.
No Cedric.
He was on the bench.
No Cedric. Tomiyasu. I still would want Saliba or Gabriel, one of them two to play. One of them two, not both.
No, because you got to play Kivior.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
you got to play Kivior.
I think you got to...
I think what you're saying is what's going to happen. But to Keith's point, I want us to take it seriously. I want us to I want the guys to go through a competition, go through the rounds, get there and win it. And I'll be honest, the Carabao Cup is a great chance to do that.
Yeah, it's a good cup. I wouldn't want to throw it away. It's a good cup.
And I think even though Arteta's already won the FA Cup, I think that was with a different group of guys. And I think this team, young, everyone, they need to feel that. And
that weren't his team that won it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it'd be good for Arsenal to...
Yeah, because even for that previous Barron spell, when we had that Birmingham final and stuff like that,
Jesus,
you almost just wanted that team to just feel, and we did with FA Cups, etc. So to your point, take it seriously. I think it's no coincidence that the Mourinho's and Jose's, they took every competition, every cup seriously. Yeah. He even showed that Mourinho when he was Europa Conference League. Nah, bro, I'm in the competition, I'm taking it serious.
Yeah, he wants that on your CV. He wants as many cups and trophies on his CV as possible. Yeah.
That's how it should be. Everything you're in.
Yeah. So, I think we said it before, it's more the media that have diminished these domestic cup competitions. Because if you look at who's won the FA Cup and League Cup over the last kind of 10 years,
it's all big teams. It's all big teams.
Wigan were the last kind of small team to win the FA Cup. But they weren't really small at the time. They won it. But yeah, smallish.
It was first in history,
and they still played Chelsea in the final. Yeah. So it's a big team still there. Yeah.
Wasn't it Leicester's first FA Cup ever? Was it their first or first for a long time?
First for a long time. Okay, and then Wigan even beat Man City in the final.
Yeah. It's always been
Martinez. Didn't they get relegated then?
Yeah.
That guy, man.
And then, the League Cup has been Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Won it, 4 years running or something.
Yeah,
like that.
The big teams, I know they put out smaller kind of players in the earlier rounds, but they still take it serious.
I think it's the sponsors and that have devalued it with the money and the TV and stuff like that. I think they've devalued
the FA though, innit? The FA should do a better job.
Yeah, I was going to say, where the games become more about money and business, people equate the fact that it's only 100. I mean, I've said it. Yeah. The fact that it's only 100 grand prize money. But again, I don't think the FA Cup is mega bucks. I think
you get like maybe $1 million for winning. The FA Cup.
It's not.
But that's why people don't. If the money was more, people would be going for it more.
Yeah. But you got to check it though. How many times have you said Carabao in the last 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
More than what you would have if they didn't sponsor the. Yeah. So the sponsorship works, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely works.
So I think they should be looking at maybe trying to get more.
I mean, I've never heard of that thing before they sponsored the cup. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never had a Carabao before they sponsored that cup.
I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think it's an energy drink.
Oh yeah, I didn't know it. Yeah,
see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, I think from a footballing point of view, get these guys winning something ASAP. I'll take a Carabao Cup, I don't care. And I think if you look at Man United, as much as we give them stick, etc., you won a trophy.
Yeah.
Not the best trophy, not the biggest trophy. You won a trophy, that group of players, this is Man United, this is what we do. They went on to get second. So top 4 and a trophy. Now, the way they did it, the new one's fine. But on paper, top 4 and a trophy.
I celebrated winning it. But when we won the double, I was like, yes.
It's a good cup to win because it's over by February. So it's not affecting you for the rest of the season. Yeah.
It could be a good
setting you up for the end of the last few months of the season.
And for us, imagine you've had the whole Saka story, Martinelli, all these guys, seeing them do that and lift a trophy, then I would. What about you? Again, you've had league success recently, Champions League success. Is it still something like, Klopp, go and win that?
Yeah, like I said, I want to win everything. It doesn't devalue. I can come in there and say, but we've won a cup. Win everything if you can.
So I guess you feel that way about the Europa League as well. Go and win that.
Yeah, like if we don't win the Europa League, regardless of who comes down from the Champions League, I'll be very disappointed.
Oh wow,
very disappointed.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. I felt like that when we was in there and he never won it.
We dropped out the elite competition.
Yeah.
Like we should be aiming for.
I mean, we got to the final and then
Well, we was in it for 4 or 5 years and only got to one final.
Yeah.
4.
Showed you where we weren't, to be honest.
And it was Unai that got us there as well.
Yeah. No.
The expert.
I think that's the only final we lost. Only one he's lost.
It's true. The one time we needed his magic dust.
Was that the Chelsea final?
Yeah.
And there was the whole Chelsea factor as well.
Was it 4-1?
That was not good. That was not good. All right, lads. Well, thank you very much for joining us
really
this
good one.
week. As always, please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. The subscription will help us keep going, and yeah, keep the comments coming. Isaac loves them. I promise. I absolutely promise. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Yeah, see you later.